So Stephanie Andrews and Shelley Worden with Palm Harbor Happenings. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for being here. I'm excited to finally have you back on the podcast and talk about Palm Harbor Happenings. So I'm sure a lot of people listening to this probably know or have heard of Palm Harbor Happenings, the Facebook group.
Mhm.
But where did it's been around for almost 10 years?
9 years,
9 years.
9.5 years so
Yep.
far.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. So where did this idea come from, and like why start a Facebook group?
All right. So I was missing fun things that were going on in the community. And anybody that knows me knows that I love doing fun stuff. So I decided I would create a group with 50 of my closest friends. And just with the thought of, if you see something going on, post on it, post on the group. And it just kind of took off from there. 35,000 members later.
Yeah. The group, I mean, originally we were inviting friends and just, it was very small and all of it's organic. Like, I think that's important to note too. We haven't paid for nothing to grow that group. There's never been an ad one that we've run or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And about 6 months into it, this is back before you had any control of Facebook groups. So about 6 months into it, she was really struggling. She was working at an elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids are both Lake St. George alum, and that's where she was working at the time. And I said, Shelley, you need to add another admin. I said, I'll help you. She goes, well, I was going to ask you because, we kind of think alike. And that's where our partnership kind of started. And we started running the group. And then over the years, thankfully there are tools that allow us to better vet some of the members and things like that, because it really, there was one day I remember we just woke up and we're like, what's going on? There's like 50 pending members.
Oh yeah.
And then 100 pending members. And we were like, holy cow. And it just exploded. And the community really turned the group into what it is today.
Right.
It was originally intended to be a happenings
Fun
post
stuff.
What's going on.
Yeah.
Right. But then came where can I find a doctor? Who do you know that can clean my house?
I found this lost dog.
Right. And we fought it. We fought it for probably several months before we finally were like, the group itself, the community is taking this group in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's in everyone's best interest to let it evolve. And that's kind of how we got where we are today.
And it seems like most of the Facebook groups kind of like probably migrate towards that anyway. We're like, hey, I need this. I need a doctor. I need this, a vendor or whatever. Like, who's the best one? What's your experience like?
Right.
Yeah. But what do you think like separates? Because there's a lot of groups, right? And like, what do you think separates, Palm Harbor Happenings from the other ones who aren't so successful, right? And don't get a lot of engagement and interaction and that sort of stuff.
I don't know. I think we spend a lot of time, like you said, vetting the members, the comments that are on there. We try not to allow people to be nasty to one another.
Yeah.
You're going to get it. It's social media,
Right.
But we spend a lot of time on that and really trying to not allow that to happen.
Yeah. When we started seeing issues come up in the group, so we have rules, right? There's a bunch of rules for Palm Harbor Happenings, but every single one of them exists because of something we experienced, right? So I remember my kids were just learning to drive, and somebody posted a picture of the back of someone's car and their license plate, and this idiot just cut me off. And I'm thinking, man, we're going to send the whole community on a witch hunt, and that could be your grandma or your 16-year-old, and we all make mistakes when we're on the road.
Right.
Yeah.
I've pulled in front of somebody that I didn't see before.
Yeah.
And so it's those types of things that led us to start to create rules that say, hey, you can't post a picture of a car or a license plate. I mean, we had an issue once where a woman, her husband, unfortunately, was killed in a motorcycle accident. She found out on Facebook because their group allowed it to be posted. That we don't allow that. No pictures of accidents. Let law enforcement or a close friend or somebody notify you if your family member's been hurt.
Yeah.
We don't want that coming from our group.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of little things like that that we've experienced over the years, and that's why we spend so much time keeping things clean. If somebody goes to your profile and screenshots a picture of you and then throws it into a comment because they're in a disagreement with you and they personally berate you, they're gone.
Yeah.
So
you can kick them out of the group and
100%.
that's it. Right.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. So that's a big part of it, just vetting the people that are allowed in the group and then setting the rules. Did you have rules in the beginning, or is it all just kind of like trial and error? Like, okay, we don't want this. Like, let's make a rule for that.
Trial and error.
It was, yeah.
I mean, there were a few minor rules.
Well, and then because Facebook didn't have rules built in, right? Back when we started this. So then we found an idea that we borrowed from another group where we had images that we pinned at the top and it had our rules listed there.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't something that Facebook was supporting, right? So Facebook really, honestly, has evolved their groups as a result of being involved with people like us. We got invited to a group back in 2017 called Power Admins or something like that. It's run by Facebook.
Oh, cool.
And they ask for feedback. They come to us with, hey, we're looking at these new features. They test them in different groups. And so the evolution of the Power Admin group and the tools, I mean, when we joined that group, there was maybe 1,500 people and now there's thousands in there.
Yeah.
But, and it's invitation only. So we can't invite people to it. You have to be invited by Facebook.
Okay.
And then we have input on some of those features and tools. So now there's things like admin assist. We don't allow profiles under 6 months unless someone contacts us to make a case for allowing the profile. Reason being, back in the day when we would kick somebody out, they would just go create a fake profile and rejoin. And we actually had them come after us pretty vilely one time in our group. And so that's when we said, okay, no more new profiles. And so the admin assist just will automatically decline those within an hour. We don't even have to touch them anymore. If people don't answer the membership questions,
just saved us a lot of time.
Automatically declines those. We don't have to deal with those anymore, which is awesome because, it has been, we had some help for a while, but it's been Shelley and I. We run that group exclusively and it's back to just us. And
which people are like, wow,
we're kind of picky.
35,000 members and it's just the two of you.
We're kind of picky. So when we see a problem, we'll collaborate. What do you think? And sometimes we don't agree, but we work it out, and we do what's in the best interest of the community. Everything goes through the filter of, if it was my mom, dad, brother, sister, child, how would I want it to be handled?
Exactly.
Yeah. What goes into managing and running a group of this size?
Constantly being on your phone.
Because I post like our podcast and stuff on the page on Mondays, and you guys are pretty quick about approving it.
Usually, I mean, there are times if we're both busy, it might go a couple hours. I might have a meeting for an hour and she's at work, and I'll pop in and I'll be like, oh, there's 47 pending posts, and then you're going through and, we're making sure that they all meet the requirements, and a lot of the business owners that post, we know that they know. So as soon as I see they're familiar, like when you post your podcast, I know it's Donnie, it's good. I don't feel like I have to, look at it or listen to it to make sure you're not sneaking in any crazy, whatever. But the ones that we don't know, the newer businesses, we'll take the time to really look at them and
we tag team pretty well.
We do.
Is there a way to automate any of that, or it's all just like, and you have to approve every single post, comments? You don't.
And we only started that when COVID, I guess,
March of 2020, when the wheels fell off the world.
Before that, we did not have post approval set up.
No, and we honestly swore we would never do it.
Yeah.
And we kept having other admin tell us, you need to. It's such a time saver.
And now we're like, no, it'll be terrible. There's so many people posting all the time. But what we find now is we're not constantly getting messaged about something bad that's going on or about a post that went up that shouldn't have. By putting it on post approval, we can cut that before it ever even makes it to the group.
Yep.
And then we just get lovely private messages about, why was my post not approved?
Or or they make a comment on like, why wasn't this approved or something, right? I've seen that before.
Or they'll comment on another post. Or I tried to post blah, blah, blah. And then we just delete that too.
Yeah. So why, what made you guys want to keep it going, right? Like it starts growing, and then just like stick with it and
there
into
were-
what it is today.
There were days where I was like, I don't know if I can
Done.
keep doing this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
honestly.
We've definitely had our moments.
So time consuming. I mean, it
Mhm.
seems
How
like
much
that's,
time do you guys spend?
oh gosh.
I don't even know if I could quantify
I
it
know.
because it's one of those things where before we left to come here, we're
Yeah.
approving, we're declining, whatever. When we leave, she'll be driving. I'll probably go back to the, I mean, it's just one of those every spare moment kind of thing.
Mhm.
Oh, let me check and make sure there's nothing.
I'm camping. I'm posting, you know,
Mhm.
we're on a cruise. We're
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So is there anything that is that most of the work, just approving the post, just like vetting things out, make sure that the comments and everything are legitimate? Like that's most of it right
It
now.
really
Most of it.
is. It's
Yeah.
I
membership.
do a lot
and-
of, so we have the group and then we also have the public page where we post just events.
Mhm.
So I spend a lot of time scrolling through Facebook trying to find what's going on this weekend and posting that stuff to the page.
Yeah, and that
So-
page
So I spend a
we're
lot of time
probably
doing
at
that
about
too.
11,000 followers on that
Mhm.
page, and that again was all organic, just from us posting events from other communities in the surrounding areas.
And what group is this? Which one?
It's just Palm Harbor Happenings, but it's a Facebook public page versus the private group that most people are more familiar
Okay.
with.
Okay.
The public page anybody can see, but they can't post. They can comment.
You guys
comment.
just post.
Mhm.
we
on that.
post events,
And it's just strictly events
Mhm.
Okay.
because the private group is so active that a lot of times that stuff gets pushed down.
Yeah.
People are like, well, I still didn't see that, you know, any of these events that were going on. So
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well,
That's
check the
great.
page,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
if you're looking for something to do this weekend, check the page.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
So you have 11,000 members on the page, or
Mhm.
11,000 followers
Right,
on the
yep.
page. 35,000 now
Yes.
in the group.
Yes.
That is crazy.
It could probably be 100,000 if we just weren't so particular.
Yeah.
You know,
But you have to be.
Yeah.
that is the difference between us and we were the first. I mean, the first of its kind, really. There wasn't another group like this when we started.
Yeah.
And, you know, they say like imitation is the best flattery, right? There's so many groups that have tried to branch off. Especially, it's usually people that got kicked out for some reason, and they
Yeah.
think they're going to go turn it in. So
the
make
no
something
no
else.
rules.
I know. I
groups,
love
you
those
know.
ones. And it's like
Yes.
zero engagement. Like,
Mhm.
Right. And they've got, you know, they get to 500 members and then they start to, you know, wither away. But,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so we love it. It's a labor of love. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is. We did back in 2018, we started selling sponsorships
Okay.
on our cover photos. Right. So we do have businesses that pay for that space, but considering how much time we spend, I mean, it's, you know, very nominal.
We're not making millions.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
exactly. You know, you might, you know, buy some groceries for a couple weeks or something.
Exactly.
So,
Yep. So businesses can buy ad space on your cover photo.
Mhm.
right,
Okay.
right. In
Cool.
the form of a sponsorship.
Yeah.
Got to keep it, you know,
Yeah.
PC.
Sponsorship. Yeah.
That's right.
So talk to me about like the power of Facebook groups, because I feel like there's, you know, you can, like, if you guys have done what you've done and created this you know, engaging interactive group for the community, like it's powerful, right? But
Mhm.
and you know, people can go and create different groups around different ideas or topics, whatever. It doesn't have to be like the Palm Harbor community or another community,
Mhm.
but maybe something that they have interest in. So like, talk to me about like the power behind Facebook groups and like how they've grown.
Oh my
so-
gosh.
yeah.
Well, you know, being in the social media business
Yeah.
myself, I can tell you that group activities has been prioritized in your news feed over most anything else for probably the last 3 to 5 years at least.
Okay.
And that's by Facebook, right? So they want people to engage. They want people to build communities. And there are all kinds of things. There are fishing groups,
Yeah.
buy-sell groups,
Mhm.
foster parent groups. I mean, everything you can think of, you can find a group for it on Facebook. And, you know, it comes down to the rules of the creator and how they want to run it, but it's very powerful. And the ones that are positive, or that attempt to be positive like us, you know, they get the most engagement from their followers. And then the other thing with that is the more you engage with a group, the more you see what's posted in the group in your newsfeed.
Right.
right? So it's one of those, if you start ignoring a group, then it kind of fades away into the background. You won't get those notifications anymore. It's like that with anything on Facebook.
And two, probably like if you're posting in the group and you have a question about like, hey, I need this local vendor or this local business, like if you're not active in that group, your post probably isn't going to be shared too, correct? Or you
It
think so?
depends because it depends on the question. If somebody comes in and says, I need an air conditioning person stat, there's going to be 75 comments, about who people like for their AC business.
Yeah.
A lot of them will be the same, but a lot of them will be different. There's so much. And, that's one of the things that we always talk about too. There's plenty of business to go around.
Yeah.
So, let people make their decisions based on what they see posted in the group. Go visit their page, look at their business, do your research. That's another one of our rules is do your due diligence.
Yes, like that's like the starting point, right? Like
Yes.
let's get a list of vendors that are doing business in the community
Yes.
and then go vet them out after that.
Yes. Do your due diligence.
Yeah. I love that. So let's talk about your business, Social Media Simplified,
Your
correct?
Social Simplified.
Your Social Simplified.
Yes.
How long have you started that business, or how long have you had that company, and what do you guys do there?
So I'm in my 5th year.
Okay.
I was former corporate.
So you started that after the Facebook group.
I did.
Okay.
When I started working with Shelley on Palm Harbor Happenings, I was still working for Verizon Wireless. I worked for them for 18 years. I was a sales director, over the state of Florida in different capacities, our agent side and our retail side. And when I was laid off at the end of 2016, I kind of tried a couple different business ventures. I knew I didn't want to go back to corporate. And then I sat down with a group of girlfriends one day and I said, okay, this is what I'm thinking about doing. I want to start this social media business. I want to help businesses create their presence or build their presence on social media. What do you guys think? And everybody was like, it's a no-brainer. Like you've already got Palm Harbor Happenings in your back pocket. So you've got that built-in credibility. Go for it. Why haven't you done it already? It was kind of the, right?
Yeah.
So I started that officially in the beginning of 2019. And that's what I do. Business owners come to me and I help them whether they want to work it organically. So we create their content for them. We post it for them. I will teach them how to share it into groups, or we can share it into groups for them.
Yeah.
Teach them how to work within their networking partners to interact with their content, or we can also do paid ad campaigns. But I really take the organic approach first with my clients. Because, I believe seeing the success we've seen through Palm Harbor Happenings, you don't necessarily have to do paid ads if you're willing to do the work.
Yeah.
If you're willing to do the work and be active on social media, there's plenty of business out there.
Yeah. And I think that's a key part of that, right? And even if you run the ads, like people are still probably going to go back to your social media anyway.
Absolutely.
If they see nothing.
And that's what I tell people. Does it look like you're out of business when they land on your page because you haven't posted in 6 months?
Yeah.
Or does it look like you sell plants, but really you're a realtor?
Yeah.
And are you educating or are you selling? Because if you're always selling, why would people follow you?
Yeah.
You've got to educate them, give them some DIY tips in what you do. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's going to keep them following you until they're ready to pull the trigger.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
so, that's kind of my primary focus there. But really, it would have been a lot harder to get off the ground if I wasn't able to introduce myself as Your Social Simplified. Oh, and I'm also an admin with Palm Harbor Happenings. And people are like, oh, wow, really?
Palm Harbor Happenings. Yeah.
Right. So it gave me that foot in to really launch the business. I think it would have taken me a little bit longer to get to where I am if I didn't have that in my back pocket.
Yeah. What do you enjoy about social media?
My background is all sales and marketing. My entire adult life, I've been in some part or another affiliated with sales and marketing. And so I enjoy sitting down with that client and starting to talk about their business, and then the ideas come. That's where the magic happens with me, is sitting with them one-on-one before we even get started. And they're just like, wow, yes, this is what I need. She gets it. And that's the stuff that makes my heart beat fast. Just watching people, see that success is possible for them. And then when we really start to make it happen and their phone is ringing and business is coming their way, I mean, it's just in all aspects. Like I said, from the group, same thing. I mean, I've performed a wedding from the group.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I'm an officiant. So I did perform a secret wedding for somebody. We've had several news reports from the group. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
there's just so
Yeah.
many things. All of
Yeah.
that. It's not one thing.
Yeah.
It's so many things.
So going back to the group, where do you guys see it evolving to and growing in the next 5 years or so?
Well, we did launch a website back in October. We're currently in the process of doing some redesign with that. And it's a business directory. So businesses can either do a free listing or they can do a paid listing for $25 a month. And with that paid listing, they also get to post on Thursdays in the group. So it gives them a little bit more opportunity to be seen.
Sure.
And then it gives them, all their website, their social links, all of that. And then we also have larger ads on the website. We've got a guest blog and a community calendar. And
cool.
That is, I think, where we'll see more evolution is really to start to get the group to go check out the website. We've made some key tags also that have a QR code on the back that takes them to the deals page. So if a business is a premium subscriber, so they're paying the $25 a month, they can add a deal, whatever that is, whatever they want it to be. It's editable by them at any point in time. And the idea is the consumer scans that code and they can go and see who's offering what deals, whether it be for a roof or a restaurant or housekeeping, whatever it is, they can follow that code to go see what discounts locals are offering.
Cool. I love that idea.
Yeah. So that's kind of, and we want to start to bring in more guest writers and things to get more content on the website. So it's not just a directory, but really a resource for the community. Because there's people that tell us, we want to be involved. We want to see what's going on, but we aren't on Facebook.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing I've gotten from the podcast and just talking to more people in the community. It's like the events, right? Like what's happening, what's going on in Palm Harbor and the surrounding areas too. But like there's not, and that's probably with like every community. That's a hard thing to collaborate on and get everyone together. It's like, what's going on this weekend? What can I go do?
Right. Yeah. And Shelley's been doing a great job of plugging that into our calendar. The calendar we have on there right now is good. We will be looking for something better probably in the next coming months to just make it more robust.
Yeah.
We're even considering a feed from the page that will just show the events as we post them onto the page.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of wheels turning and ideas on how to make that even better.
Yeah.
It's still a baby, still an infant, not quite a toddler yet.
More trial and error, right?
Right.
Exactly.
But there's a lot of events that are posted there too. So people that aren't on Facebook can go to the website, go to that calendar and see what's happening. And we don't just post Palm Harbor.
Yeah.
Dunedin, Tarpon.
I say most of it's North
County, North Pinellas,
Yeah.
Pinellas, and maybe even up a little bit into, Holiday or Newport Richie and over to West Chase. Anywhere in that kind of zone is where, because we know people will go there.
Yeah. Right.
So
it seems like that's kind of like the divide. It's like there's like a South County and then kind of North County where you kind of stay in that territory. Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right. So when you guys aren't working on Palm Harbor Happenings or you're not working on your Social Simplified, what are you guys doing? Like if you had to pick one business, and it may be hard, but like one place where you want to visit, what are you doing in your spare time? Like feeds your soul. Like where do you enjoy going to? And you got to pick one.
Got to pick one, a business.
Or it could be a park or something.
Or just the pool in my backyard, because that's where I spend a lot of my time. My husband and I floating around,
Yeah.
I'm a camper, so
Oh, cool.
I spend a lot of my weekends camping, glamping. We're not doing tents.
Like with the RV? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So where's like one of your favorite spots to go to?
Fort DeSoto.
Oh yeah.
So, and I
That's a
thought
cool spot.
that's going to be probably eventually I'll do a blog on our website about
State
because we've
parks.
been all over the state.
Yeah.
All over the state. We've camped for, I don't know, since the kids were 8 and 9 or something like that. So probably 15, 16 years.
Yeah. Cool. My parents have an RV, and so they're big into like traveling around and that sort of stuff.
There's so many beautiful state parks in the state. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Get out and see them,
Yeah.
And just in our area too, like you don't have to go travel far. Yeah.
No, I spend a lot of my time volunteering when I'm not working. So the Palm Harbor Museum on the corner of Curlew and Belcher, most people I mean, every time I'm there, someone walks in and says, I never knew this was here.
Yeah.
It's a small museum, but it's very robust in terms of the history of Palm Harbor specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on the board there for about 4 years. And again, it's a labor of love. I just enjoy, in fact, Shelley and I donate
Yeah, I
every
was
month.
just going to say that.
The proceeds from the group sponsors, we donate a portion of that to the museum every month. And, they're so grateful because if they don't get grants from the county or donations, they can't survive.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just been a passion since we decided to do that, I guess 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
I think it was 5 years ago now, maybe 6 actually. But once we decided to start donating, that's when they then came to me and said, would you like to be on our board? And I have been there ever since.
Yeah.
So, but it's things like that. The community of Palm Harbor in and of itself, I'm very passionate about. Both of my kids were PHU graduates. The kids are both, we're not Florida natives, but our kids are.
Yeah.
So, it's just, I just have a lot of, a big heart for everything Palm Harbor and just bringing it all together.
Yeah. Why is that? Because I think, since I've started in real estate, I've kind of narrowed down into Palm Harbor. We live in Palm Harbor now. And it is, I found it's a really special community. It's different than, Dunedin and Safety Harbor or anything. For you, for both of you, like, why is Palm Harbor so special?
I think it's
and different, right?
Small and mighty, and there's such a variety of people, economically. I mean, people say there's a lot of money in Palm Harbor. There is a lot of money in Palm Harbor, but not everybody is, living in a multi-million-dollar home either. There's a variety of different types of people, and there's a variety of needs. We started also back in 2017 a Pack-a-Snack group as a result of Palm Harbor happenings, where we were providing snack bags to go home with kids on weekends, and feeding children or any child with an unmet need brings me to my knees, right? And so there's just all of that we've been able to find in the community of Palm Harbor. There's nightlife, restaurants, community, neighbors helping neighbors, all of that. And it's again, I don't think it's just one thing, at least for me. What about you?
I've lived in Florida for all but 10 years of my life. And I've lived in Clearwater, Largo, Safety Harbor, and I just, you're right. There's just something about Palm Harbor that, we just love it.
Yeah. It's just different.
It is.
The community. I think that's what I found. It's like you said, like neighbors helping neighbors, like that's Palm Harbor.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
Very cool. Well, Stephanie and Shelley, I appreciate you guys being on the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Have all the links in the description below for people to check you guys out.
Awesome.
And obviously, like the Facebook group, just search Palm Harbor Happenings, or you'd probably just search Palm Harbor and it probably pops up at this point.
Probably. It comes up in Google too if you search Palm Harbor Happenings. It's
there you go.
there. So.
There you go. Yes. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Donnie.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.